here we go. I'm going to take some Gorilla Glue, like so. And I'm going to squeeze, make sure I'm in the camera. I'm going to squeeze the Gorilla Glue into, oh yeah. Give it a chance to breathe, and squeeze it some more. And almost immediately, as it hits the bottom, it's going to start turning cloudy. And that's because Gorilla Glue reacts on contact with water. Okay, I got enough down in there, I think, for now. And what I'm going to do is reach my brush in, my now disposable brush, and I'm going to stir and stir and stir. And it gets all gloppy like this, and I'm going to stir some more. And basically what I'm trying to do is get all that glue to where it's going to be reacting. Okay, and now I got a little bit like this, and I'm going to go like so all over the inside of my like this. What's the sound of one man painting? Yeah, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna get this back edge here. And you can already see, because it's warm, that it's starting to foam up a little bit. So I might have less working time with this batch than I thought I did. That's okay, I can deal with that. So now I'm painting with the foam as well, like this. Okay, so now I'm going to need some more glue, so I'm going to go like this, maybe. I have pliers. Hey, look at there. Alright. So now we're going to get a little crazy with the Cheese Whiz. Alright, so I'm mostly done with the second coat. The ones that I ended up doing later on the first coat, I was getting a little bit better coverage on, so I didn't have to put quite as much on them. The first ones required some considerable work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let this run, and I'm going to leave the bowl and the brush here so that you can actually watch and you can see these guys actually foam up. I'm going to go wash my hands because this stuff gets amazingly sticky as it starts to cure. And yeah, so I'm going to see you in a few minutes. Okay, so I got my painting station set up, and I've got my rattle can. I'm going to shake my rattle can for 1 minute, and then I'm going to take this guy and put it on there. This was like $2.99, I think, at Home Depot, and the way this sets up is that you just take it like this, and you push it and wiggle it just a little bit till it snaps on to your favorite paint can. And this is much easier on the finger muscles, and it can also make sure that you get nice, smooth, even strokes. The thing to keep in mind, though, is that you've got this line down the middle. You want to make sure that line is lined up with the nozzle of your rattle can. So I'm going to take it off, and then I'm going to shake it. Alright, so one other thing. I've got these blue nitrile gloves. It's already kind of long since past time to put them on, because now I've got Gorilla Glue kind of stuck to all of my pores. But so that I'm not painting my hand black, bam, glove. Okay, so one last shake, and then some nice even painting strokes across here, and you can see I've got some globs here. I've got a little glob there, got a little glob around the edge there. That's fine, because all that's going to do is add some character to it once we get to the detail painting stage. What I really want to make sure of is that I get a nice solid coat all over everything. Make sure you get the sides, corners. Make sure you hit it from a different angle. Don't worry about the back at this point, because we're going to go back and we're going to do all the backs at once we get the underside taken care of. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this guy over to the drying rack, and I'm going to grab another one. Alright, so now my primer is dry, and now my foam is solid. And these guys are solid, like solid. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to the band sander, belt sander, and I'm going to clean up the edges, and I'm going to clean up the underside, because right now these won't sit on an arm. These will do stuff like that. So I'm going to clean up the edges, and then I'm probably going to go back and hit these with a different kind of primer. Now that I've got the plastic bonding primer on it, I'm going to hit it probably with a Rust-Oleum Professional primer, so that I get a second protective layer on top of it. All the detail on these is pretty bold. All the rivets and all the lines and everything are pretty solid, and I don't have to worry about losing any detail when I start painting. Whereas if I had a bunch of little itty-bitty scrolled kind of details, then I would have to worry about losing that detail. So I can do another coat of primer on this, and it's not going to hurt. So I'm going to do the band sander, and then I'm going to clean up the edges with some more primer. Oh, and you probably want to watch me do that too. Where's my face mask? Face mask, there we go. Alright, hearing protection. This is all going to get edited out, so here we go. Alright, so I got my face protection, because nobody likes to take it in the face. I've got my hearing protection, which is probably why I'm exceptionally loud right now. And I'm going to turn on the band sander, and we're going to rock and roll. So now I've got everything all hollowed out, and you can still see they've still got most of their original rigidity, which is fantastic. Also, I did one pair in a brown base primer just because I want to do a different effect with it, and we'll see how that works. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dust myself off because I am covered in foam bits, and oh wow, and I'm going to dust off the pieces themselves, and then I'm going to reprime the pieces that are like this one where the edges are now exposed again. I'm going to reprime all that, and then I'm going to prime the inside as well. So